In Luke chapter 14, verse 26, why does Jesus use the word hate your father, mother, wife, children, etc., in order to be his disciple? All right? Luke chapter 14, really, really interesting. He talks about three different things there, and he starts there, and he says, if anyone comes after me and does not hate his mother, father, wife, but he just lists off all family members, he cannot be my disciple. He then talks about if someone does not take up their cross and carry it, he cannot be my disciple. And he also said, anyone who does not give up all his own possessions also cannot be his disciple. If you remember, the Greek word there for cannot is the Greek word dunamis, from which we get our English word dynamite. So he is not saying that I won't let you. He's saying you won't have the power. You will not have the ability to be my disciple. And so what Jesus is talking about there, if you think about it, he's talking about other people. Then he's talking about ourselves. Take up our cross. You know, we can't put ourselves before Christ, and stuff. That's everything. That's pretty much everything in the world. And so what he's saying is this relationship, it won't work unless you put me first and I'm the key to everything that's going on. And so that's all he tries to do. So in the process of doing that, when he uses the word, if anyone comes along and doesn't hate, he is talking in reference to himself. All right? He's talking as far as the connection that we love Christ so much that any other relationship pales considerably by that. And I also think there's another aspect of it that I think becomes important probably for all of us to hear, because this is a hard part of following Christ. And that is the concept of how much we need to love God when we have to take a stand with our family. Now, at all the locations right now, I can tell you there's a bunch of you who have had to take a stand with your family. There are probably a bunch, and I know at least a handful, who haven't taken that stand, who have chosen not to do that, not to get involved, just kind of go with the flow, etc. And guys, what you have to realize is by him saying what he does here, it does create that, whoa, hate my mother, father, brother, sister, wife. What do you mean? Is to be able to help us to see very clearly how committed we have to be to Christ. And that part of our job in our time, in our generation, this moment in which we exist, is to be an advocate for Christ and his truth. And we have to do that with our family. You guys know we had to do it. We are still doing that with one of our sons. We had to do it with another son as well a long time ago. Now he loves God. He follows God. He's got a great family. It's awesome. But you have to understand that there's that responsibility, that we get an opportunity to have that standard, that we don't let other things come before Christ. And think about it. There's not much closer than family relationships. And so it gives you kind of a sense of how serious Christ was about this. He wanted to make sure we understood. And now in that passage it says hate, but in another passage, not a parallel passage, but another one, if you remember in, I think it would be Matthew 5, no, I think it's 9, where it actually there talks about the idea, if anyone puts mother, wife, brother, sister before me, then there can be no relationship with me. So there he actually just says anything that gets put before me, and that's where he talks about, I did not come to bring peace into the world, I came to bring a sword. So I think it was actually Matthew 10, now that I think about it. And so what's happening there is he's saying, guys, you have to understand, we're in this battle, this spiritual battle, and the closest thing we're going to have in this world is going to be family relationships. And because of that, he understood it needed to be clear that he is first, and we don't compromise, and we don't sell out, and we don't look the other way, but we take a stand on God's principles. We do all that we can to try and make sure that we have taken that stand so that, in fact, hopefully they will make those right choices. So I think his use of the word hate was purposeful so that we would be jolted a little bit and realize how serious he is, and obviously in comparison to what he said there. So if you read that whole passage, you'll see there, it's real clear what he's trying to say.